Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Fox 10 Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fox 10 Sports Podcast. I am the Podfather with my two oldest sons, Kellen and Garrett, and, of course, the Den's enforcer, Clay Bench McDonald, is on here with us. And we're here to cover a lot of good stuff from this past weekend. Oklahoma Sooners with a 42-3 victory over the Temple Owls. And we're going to talk about some Auburn football with Jackson Arnold making his, I don't know if I'd say triumphant return, but he is coming back to Norman this upcoming Saturday, kickoff at 2:30. What was the big thing in the Oklahoma game that you saw this past weekend? Like what I don't know. Tell me what you thought about it. What was a big out of the whole thing? What happened? Never mind.
Offense looked good outside of the Mateer pick, but in reality, I wouldn't even say that was on him. That was probably more on Keontez Lewis. It looked like he kind of stopped in the middle of his route whenever Mateer was expecting to keep on going. But defense obviously just suffocated them. I don't think there was any doubt in any of our minds on either side of the ball what was going to happen. But exciting to see a lot of pressure on the quarterback. That was huge. And then obviously I know we're all still waiting for that first turnover, which Venables is as well. But
he said it's
coming.
coming.
Nothing really that exciting on this game, just for the fact that it's Temple.
Sure. Well, Clay was there. So Clay, you were actually at the ball game with it looks like a crowd of 24,927 was announced at the Philadelphia Eagles. What do they call it? Lincoln Field?
Lincoln Financial.
Lincoln Financial.
Yeah, it was cool to go watch a game at Eagle Stadium, where obviously the Eagles play. Tons of world champion lingo and posters and pictures of. I had some replica rings that were about the size of me up there. You could take pictures by. Big Jalen Hurts statue was pretty cool, or cutout you could take pictures with. But I think one of the biggest things we noticed was like, wow, there's chairbacks, and so it was just like super comfortable. It's like watching a game at the movie theater, man. It's just like, this is so nice. And everybody around me was from a different state, and
Really?
I was the only person. I'd probably talked to 10 different groups of people, and none of them were from Oklahoma. The lady next to me, she was from Delaware. Her friend was from Pennsylvania. The people behind me were from Pennsylvania. People to the right from me were from Maryland. Next ones next to them were North Carolina. People in front of me were from Vermont, and just all OU fans. Most of them had graduated from OU. The ladies next to me, their husbands were on the other side of them. Of course, they talked the whole time. They didn't even know anything about football or even cared, but they just were having fun eating and watching and hanging out. But their husbands grew up in Oklahoma, and they're in the military and stationed out there. So I told my wife one of the funniest things I saw was just so many old OU vintage stuff, because people like probably bought it when they either lived in Oklahoma or they just had it a while and didn't have I saw several Sam Bradford jerseys, saw a lot of Mayfield jerseys, saw a Jason White jersey, tons of Adrian Peterson clothes and stuff like that. And so it was pretty interesting. But like you said, not very many people. Stadium seats just under 70,000. So when you have 30,000 people there, pretty much the lower bowl was mostly filled, and there's kind of a mezzanine level with club seats and stuff like that. That was probably about half full, and then they had the top sections blocked off, so nobody even sat there. But so it was a little quieter than you normally used to, but it seems like every time OU did something, it got pretty loud. I think the loudest it got was when you talked about the interception with Keontez Lewis, when they didn't review the play for targeting, and didn't even, no flag, no review. And I mean, everybody stood up, and I mean, it was a lot of yelling at the refs. And so that was interesting. But in regards to the game, I saw, just basically you kept hearing they taking care of business. Just went, and I think they did a pretty good job of running the ball. Nothing just extraordinary. Running backs ran hard. I think they're finding their holes a little better. than they had been. I like the fact that we didn't run Mateer that much. I think we maybe only ran him like 3 or 4 plays, and whenever he ran like 50 plus yards for a touchdown, that was a called run. He didn't look as sharp as he did the first 2 games. So I don't want to say if it's concerning, but it looked like it was at first, but then he kind of tried to get a few passes in there that he shouldn't, missed a couple. I think it was like 20 of 34, so it wasn't super high percentage what it should have been, but I think he was trying some things that, necessarily wasn't there. But and on response to the turnovers, we actually were talking about that with the group I was with, just like, and I made the comment and I says, well, when all these teams are going 3 and out and going backwards,
Sure.
they don't have that many plays. Time of possession's pretty low. If they're going 3 and out and they had the ball maybe twice a quarter, they're not going to have that many turnovers. But the aggressive defense, it was unbelievable when it was like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. You just it looked like it was 11 on 2. OU's defense just mowed down their line, and that running back was going backwards. And so a lot of good things. And I don't know. I haven't heard the update on Lewis yet, if he's going to be back in. Fasushi was in a walking boot. So hopefully he'll be back this week. That would be good, but it didn't seem like anybody else got hurt. I saw Giovanni Gibson. He suited out. He don't think he suited out the first 2 games that I noticed, but he was suited out, but he literally sat on an ice chest with this towel wrapped around his head most of the game. And, so I kind of thought he was going to get in, and it looked like maybe he was going to get in. Then everybody was like, nope, you're not. And, so then he just went and sat down and just kind of sat there. So I'd kind of like to see him get in the game, but, only thing I would say about the game, if people are upset that we should have been crisper, but it just seemed like every time we went out there was a different offensive line, a lot of receivers got to play, just a lot of rotations and stuff like that. And so that's when you're going to do that, it's kind of, you're just not getting a really good flow. But hey, I'll be honest with you, Temple, they were in the top 20 on their offense, yards, points scored, 9 touchdowns by that quarterback in 2 games. They were in the top 20 in offense. And so the OU was favored by 21.5, and I mentally predicted 37-17 to win. And, it wasn't even close. The only reason they got that 3 points is that 1 interception. And so that was a good win for what it was. It was exciting for all those people in the northeast part of the United States get to come watch them play. I think you learn a lot about your team going away. Sorry, I'm talking a lot, but because you got to travel a lot, you got to pack those buses, you got to pack those things, or the trucks. You got all the kids got to remember what equipment they got to bring. You eat differently. You get, it was their first 11 o'clock game, so then they had to learn how to get up. So I think there's a lot to learn. I'd much rather go for an away game, practice an away game like that, than go when we go to Ole Miss or wherever we go first out of Norman. So anyway, so good win. A lot of good things came from it.
Sure. Kellen, what are your thoughts?
I don't have a lot of different thoughts necessarily. I'm just glad we won the game, because I know there's a lot of talk of the trap game, and like Sooners past, like even the best of our teams, they always lose 1 or 2, and it's not like one of those big games. It's always one of these little in-between filler games that you're not really worried about. So I'm just glad they went out there, took care of business, because obviously you're going off a big game against Michigan, and then we all have a big, just for the emotional aspect, game next week against Auburn. So I'm just glad they focused, took care of business, and went out there and won the game.
Definitely. Clay, were there any Temple fans there?
Yeah, I would say probably 4,000 or 5,000. It was just hard to tell because they were red and white too. And probably the biggest way I could tell is because they really didn't cheer much, because they didn't have anything to cheer for, is about midway through the 3rd quarter. And it was hotter on Saturday than it was the first 2 OU games. It was I think it was about 90 degrees about halftime, so it got pretty steamy. But about midway through the 3rd quarter, the Temple side was pretty sparse, and so I was like, okay, maybe there's a little more Temple fans here than I thought. So, but yeah, I would guess somewhere in 5, 6, I don't know, 7,000 range. It's hard to tell.
Maybe 8.
Maybe 8. Yeah,
Could be.
It was 3,000 or 4,000, give or take, 5 or 6.
Yeah, John Mateer, 282 yards passing, 1 touchdown, had that big 51-yard touchdown run. Leads the nation with at least 1 passing and 1 rushing touchdown in 9 straight games. Torrey Blaylock, 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Javonte Barnes scored the opening touchdown and got a 2-point conversion. And Tate Sandell, the kicker, 52-yard field goal early in the game. So I want to talk about a couple things. One being, what were your thoughts on that 2-point conversion? Like it?
At first I was so confused because it's just one of those things like, why in the world are you using a play against by far the easiest, second easiest team on the schedule? But then I read someone say that this was Arbuckle and Venables and all them. They wanted to kind of kick some people in the teeth that had predicted this to be a trap game. Like that called it, saying that we were going to struggle. It's just going to be one of those games that we overlooked and might have some difficulties with. And so then they were just like, well, we'll just come right down the field real quick, 8-0, and then shut them up real quick.
Kirk Herbstreit picked it would be 17-17, I think, or a half or something like that. But yeah, Kanak.
And I love Kirk, but I don't know what he was thinking.
Kanak looked really good on that play.
I thought on the a lot of people I saw were upset. It was like, man, save that for a better team. And I get that, but that means that they have a play that goes opposite of that, and so they'll have something ready because now it's just one more thing you got to prepare for. But having Kanak throw it's pretty interesting in itself.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat. Kellen, what were your thoughts on anything? Whatever.
I mean, initially I thought it was kind of unnecessary, but again, it's like I trust Arbuckle. He's got more tricks up his sleeve. That's not our only weapon we got this year.
Yeah, that's our only 2-point conversion play that we're going to have all year. The kicker hitting the 52-yarder, pretty big. My only other question was, why did they put out the other kicker towards the end of the game? Is any thoughts on that? Was it because we were drilling them, so give somebody else a shot? I personally would have thought, hey, let's have our normal kicker, our regular kicker, first string, whatever, be out there and getting some more reps, more practice. I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Well, but he missed.
Yeah.
He won't be seeing the field again this year.
I think that's just maybe the kicking. Maybe he's pretty good, and the kicking competition was close, and just giving him a chance. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of one of those, like, if you're trying to respect the other team, just like, hey man, we were throwing our backup kicker out there, even though we paid you $500,000 for us to fly up here and play you, we're still gonna beat the dog out of you.
Sure. But are we even worried about special teams? Like, honestly, I mean,
are we? Is that what you just said?
That's like the only thing I am worried about.
Yeah, that was sarcasm.
I'm concerned.
Special teams is the worst part of our team by a mile.
Well, regardless, I know it says here that Brent Venables, he called the team hungry, driven, and humble. Hungry, driven, humble, and tough. So that when they're playing together, it resembles recess, like just a bunch of kids out there having fun, free, confident football. Holding a team to 26 yards rushing. They've allowed only 254 yards total of passing in over 3 games. So dominant defense performance. And I know
if it wasn't for that dadgum field goal, we would have been one of 5 teams in the country not allowing a single point in the first half.
Yeah, and that was a bad play. I mean, it was just bad overall, and they had the ball right there near our goal line, so that kind of helped, or unfortunately enabled that to happen. But regardless, here's my thoughts on all this. Yeah, it was Temple, but you know what? We shut them down. How much more would we be saying if they had like 420 yards total offense and stuffed our run? And all, we'd be kind of concerned, obviously, correct? But being able to go out there and dominate in a quote unquote trap game, pretty impressive from the Sooners.
I feel like this time last year we were like, we only won that because our defense scored multiple touchdowns. Like games like this.
Yeah, but at the same time though, like I mentioned earlier, like with Venables, we're always like 4-5-0, and like we always get super excited, and then it just something happens. There's a flip switch that everything just turns around and flips upside down. But
Mateer's different, man.
This is the 4th year in a row we're starting out 4-0 with Venables, and 5th year for the Oklahoma Sooners. But that's a great point that we do this. And then, unfortunately, in the past, 2 of the past 3 years, the wheels have fallen off.
4-0, you mean when we beat Auburn?
What's that?
I said 4-0.
Yeah, I meant 3-0. Yeah, after we beat Auburn, 4-0. Yeah, my bad. 3-0 is what we've started. I know wide receiver Keontae Lewis, he left. He got hit on that interception play, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He walked off on his own. And then we're going to be missing our Mason Thomas. He was ejected for targeting, spinning for the first half against Auburn. How big of a hurt is that going to be?
One, I want to say right call. I don't think anyone should argue against that, other than the fact that, yes, there was the hit on Keonta should have been as well. But R. Mason definitely, that was a targeting. I don't think it's going to hurt us that much. I don't think he's as good as everyone says he is, genuinely. And I think we have so much depth at the defensive line. It's going to be a minute difference.
Okay.
I think it just hurts our rotations. Everybody getting in, and if they are pounding the ball and running it, which we think Auburn's going to try to do, it'd be nice to have another experienced guy right there. But, Marvin Jones Jr. and Heineke and Hine, they've been playing really good. So I think we'll be okay. I mean, no matter what, you just always want all your guys. And so, but when everybody else is tired, he'll be rested. So that could be a good thing.
Most definitely. All right, so moving on. September 20th is coming up Saturday, 2:30. Oklahoma will take on Auburn. Auburn's undefeated as well. It's going to be televised on ABC. Currently, the point spread showing anywhere from 6.5 to 7 points for OU. Over-under in this game, 48.5. Historical head-to-head, Oklahoma has won the last two matchups against Auburn. So here's the thing. Momentum and confidence. How much does Auburn's 3-0 start matter coming into Norman? And are they battle-tested enough, in your opinion?
No. Look who they've beaten. Best win's Baylor, which is a decent win, but no, they're not battle-tested, and they're not in any sort of momentum or anything. They don't have the momentum we have, that's for sure. Okay. And if they did, coming into Norman's going to take that away immediately from kickoff.
The game's going to affect Arnold more than it's going to affect Oklahoma. Like, he's the one coming back. Like, Mateer's got no connection to Arnold, so, like, when it comes to, like, that stuff, it's going to affect him way more than us, and I think he's not going to be able to perform.
Guess we'll find out if Arnold's a gamer that we didn't give a chance or if he's really what we thought, because he comes in and plays really, really good against us, and we're like, yeah. I mean, I definitely think we didn't give him as much of a chance.
Right.
As fans, when I say that, his confidence was shot. I think it was best move he could ever made was to move in that regard. Auburn's the best offense we've played, and they've got some really, really good receivers, but Arnold hadn't thrown for very much, probably hadn't had to. So I think if we stop the quarterback run, it should be a pretty decent victory for the Sooners.
Well, yeah. I know Underwood looked like he was throwing it all over the place this past weekend and running and all that. He could not do that against us. I personally think Arnold's better at this point. Not saying he's going to be a better quarterback in the future. I just think at this point he's a better quarterback, more of a threat than Underwood was when we played them. But it'll be very interesting to see. I personally don't. There'll be some people booing Arnold. And to Clay's point, like, he didn't have a line last year. His receivers were all out. So that did not help.
No offensive coordinator.
No offensive coordinator, correct. So there's a lot of different things with him, unfortunately, that happened. And I think a lot of people just kind of, gave up on him and booed him at some points, obviously. But it's just frustrating. But my other question was, conversely, does Oklahoma having won the most recent head-to-head game like last year, does that give us any kind of a psychological edge, or is this totally different since it's a totally different team this year?
Nah.
I think if you had to choose, you'd much rather have beaten them last year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, like you said, two different teams. I mean, obviously put one quarterback on one team to the other. It's now at OU, not at Auburn. I mean, there's so many different things, so I don't think it matters much.
Personally, I feel good, in my opinion, that we have the better quarterback. I don't know about you guys. We've got the better quarterback, and I think in a majority of these games this year, we're going to have the better quarterback in every game, which is something we were accustomed to for many years. And I think that'll help this game as well. Garrett, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say there's not one quarterback on our schedule that even comes close to touching Mateer.
You don't
There's
think
only
LSU?
No. Have you been watching it?
Yeah, but
no. He has fallen from a potential number one pick to maybe a day 2, day 3 pick.
Oh, he's not going to. No, that's not going to happen. Just
all right, we'll see. It's none of these guys come even close. It's not even funny.
Well, I get it, but I just think it's a good feeling to know, because last year, majority of the time, the other team had the better quarterback, and it comes down to a lot of that. And I think it's going to be fantastic this coming up Saturday, taking on these Auburn Tigers for sure. Who has the coaching matchup advantage in your opinion?
Oklahoma.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, head coach wise, you could probably call it a even split, but I think Arbuckle is
Okay.
just such a difference maker. I think if he was anywhere else in the country, he'd probably be getting a head coaching job soon, anyways. But yeah,
Well, Venables the best defensive coach in the nation, so
He's really good.
you throw that in there. I mean, if you just count coordinators like Garrett said, yeah, it's a no-brainer. But
He's really good.
overall, I think Hugh Freeze has a lot of experience. But
Yeah, he
I
does.
thought he did a terrible job last year with Auburn.
think about too though, like with Venables, this is finally the first year that he has every single player on that defense that he's recruited, that he has gone out and to play his defense. Like as good as Billy Bowman was, as good as Danny Stutzman was, he didn't recruit him. Like they weren't brought in to play that kind of defense, and they did well. But I think we haven't seen any fall off at all with seeing them leave, which is an amazing feeling. But I think that's why our defense, I mean, it was a top 10 last year, in my opinion, is still top 5 this year. And it's only going to get better because he's finally getting those guys that match a scheme and exactly the kind of intensity that he's wanting.
Sure. Kellen, how big of an advantage is it to be playing this game in Norman? I know we played there last year, and I get it, but it makes me feel a little bit better. And how about you, it being played here at home?
I mean, I think we'd win either way, but I think it's an advantage if the crowd's anything close to the way it was at Michigan. It's just loud. Like I said, it's going to affect Jackson Arnold coming back to a place that it's going to be emotional. It probably has a very big love-hate relationship with it, probably mostly hate, but like I think it's going to affect him, and I just think we play well. We play well either way, but our guys play well in front of that crowd, and it's going to be electric.
Clay or Garrett, you got anything?
Well,
Being played in Norman?
I mean, I think being a Norman's an advantage either way. I mean,
It'll be interesting to see that'll be an 11 o'clock game, a 5:30 game, a 6:30 game, now a 2:30 game. So it'll be interesting to see how our guys react to that time wise.
Sure.
If you ask all the players, they love the 11 o'clock games because they can play their game. Then they got the rest of the day to hang out with their family or whoever comes in, their friends or whatever. They like that. Game wise, during the game time, they love that nighttime game because of the atmosphere. Fans are a little more inebriated. It's cooler, all that good stuff. But so it'll be interesting to see kind of how they come out. Hopefully, you don't want to sit there and go, there's no way they're going to come out flat on an SEC game, but it's 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. Yeah. So you never know how it's going to happen. So I'm interested to see that part of it, just the start time, because like I said about the 11 o'clock game earlier with Temple, everything's different. You have a totally different schedule. High school, they always play at 7 o'clock. Every schedule is the same except if you go away or home, but it's other than that your routine is the same. And so it's different when it's at 2:30 because now you eat breakfast at a different time. They always go and stay in a hotel somewhere in Oklahoma City, and what time do you leave that hotel now? And anyway, so that'll be, they're obviously getting paid a lot of money to be able to overcome that, but it's still different.
No, I agree 100%. This is going to be a fun game. It's going to be, I don't know, has Auburn ever been to Oklahoma? I don't even know if they've ever even been here to play a game. So it's just fun seeing these different teams coming in here, and I'm excited. Do you expect a high tempo type of game, or do you expect to see more of a defensive battle? Or what?
I definitely see a low scoring defensive battle just because I think Auburn knows they have to try to run. And so they're going to do a lot of Michigan stuff and just try and just try to march down the field. Because that's how remember the old Lincoln Riley days and all those guys is how do you beat OU is just don't let them have the ball. And so they're going to try as much as they can. I don't think they can do it. So with that, they may have 5, 6, 7-minute drives that they go 20 yards and then have to punt it. And then, so that's why I think it's just going to be low scoring.
Okay.
I think it's going to be pretty high tempo. I think they're going to definitely try and run it, but I think those big plays that they have Auburn, they're going to try and get that ball snapped real quick again to catch us off guard. And I think that we're at our best whenever we're fast paced and just marching down the field. I think we've seen that with a couple of our opening drives against Michigan and Temple, but I think it's going to be high paced on our side. And I think they're going to try and, like you said, kind of chew that clock to try and keep the time of possession up, but it's not going to matter.
Kellen, you good?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really different than what they said.
All right. Well, let's get some predictions in. What are your thoughts, and what's your score going to be, and who's going to be like the player that's going to be the breakout player or the person that needs to make it happen, other than John Mateer? Like who do you think?
You're going score predictions right now?
Yeah, score predictions. Yeah.
I've got Oklahoma 38-13. Think that, in what buddies of mine's words, we're going to make Jackson Arnold look completely silly out there. I think the over-under for his turnovers should be set at about 3. I think we're going to get that ball a lot. Fumbles, interceptions, you name it. Like, we're going to be on top of him all night. And I think they're going to struggle massively to move the ball. I think he's going to have a lot of mistimed throws and a lot of just throws that you're like, I don't even know where he was going with that, just because I don't think anything's changed at all, not with his arm. Defensively, they're not very good either. I mean, they got some decent players, but not anything better than Michigan. And I think we're only better than we were. We're better than we were last week against Michigan. So I think we're just going to, when we want to score, we're going to score. And so I think it's going to be 38-13 Oklahoma. And it's not even going to be close.
Is there a player out there that you think, other than Jackson, or than Mateer?
I'll go defensive side, just kind of on the interior side. Stone, he's been getting a lot of snaps, and I know we're waiting for kind of that big breakout game from him. But at the same time, without R. Mason out, I think on the edge, you could look at guys like Marvin Jones, obviously, but then Taylor Wine as well could have a big game.
Okay. Who's next?
I think we win this 38-17. I think, like Gary said, we're going to pretty much walk all over them. They're just going to have a couple decent drives that shouldn't happen. That's going to kind of tick us off, maybe a big play or two. But I think it's really not even going to be close. We're just going to kind of never look back. I'm hoping for 2 turnovers, but even then, we haven't had any, so 1 will be huge. But with what we saw with Arnold last year, I'm hoping for
6 or 7.
I'm thinking Mateer's got 4 touchdowns, 2 to 3 passing. I'm thinking 3 passing, 1 rushing. I think he throws 2 to Kanak. I think Kanak 8 or 9 catches next week, and he's just looking great.
Dude, Kanak's the man now.
I mean, yeah.
I was
he had that one fumble, but now I'm just like.
But he's improved every game, every possession.
Yeah. That was like his first or second touch, wasn't it? When he had that fumble? Yeah.
First. So I was like.
Yeah, he caught that long one across the middle first, and then that second one he fumbled.
Yeah, but he's done nothing but improve, and I love that dude.
Yeah, I'm going to go 27-16. I think
that's exactly what I was going to say. That's
you're
funny.
lying.
No, I'm serious.
Did you write
Gary
it down?
took mine. I had to make a new score.
Yeah.
I agree with you, though. I agree with you.
I think they're going to kick like 3 field goals, throughout the game. So, like I said, a little bit lower scoring. My breakout guy, I'm going to go looking at a Todd, seeing if I'm picking the right one, or picking the same one, I should say. I'm going to go Torrey Blaylock. And you got to be kidding me.
Our great minds think alike, man.
There you go. And the reason why I'm going to say him is because I think after 3 games, we're like, okay, we've got our running back situation lined out. We know who our guys are. Jade Knott, just watching him on the sidelines. I mean, horrible body language. Didn't have his helmet with him most of the game. You know how whenever they go, in between possessions, and when the OU, all the offensive players kind of huddle up, and then, the 11 that go out to the field, and the rest of them come back. Ott hardly ever got into that huddle. He was on the far end. He'd kind of stroll down there, and then didn't have his helmet with him. And then, and then when y'all said he was in the game, I had actually kind of walked out. Actually saw a student of mine that was my student of mine 25 years ago was at the game, and she lives in Virginia, and she came by to see me. And so I was standing out talking to her, so I didn't even see that. But I just think Ott is there's some confidence there. Maybe it's a little bit of injuries, but I just think Blaylock is the man. And so I think they're just going to ride that with him and Barnes for a while, and let those two be the bell horse or bell cows, I should say, and then I see him with over 100 yards, a couple of touchdowns.
Well, Clay, 27-16, I agree. And I have Blaylock, and I also have Kanak as one of those guys. So those guys have already been taken. So that's why I probably need to go first if I ever want to say it, but it's okay. But I agree with you. I think that Ott is having some, some body language. You can see it. Even on TV, you can see it. I heard that it's possible that he's obviously in the doghouse. He's not as familiar with he's still having a hard time with and I don't know if this is true or not, having a hard time with picking up the offense. Barnes is a much better blocker. That's why he's playing a lot more. And the fact that Blaylock, and you have fans saying, hey, we paid Ott all this money. Here's my question. Does it matter to you who's playing the running back truly? Like, as long as they're doing well? Like, does it matter to you?
I'd be mad
whenever you pay
I'd
money
given him the money.
Yeah.
But are you paying the money? Is it coming out of your wallet? Are you paying any of the money? That's what I'm asking.
Imagine what would have happened if we were like, you know what, we're going to keep that $2 million, the rumor that he has, and let's go get a star offensive lineman, the guy that Oregon got that's going to be a top 5 pick in the draft.
I don't care.
Like,
it doesn't matter to me.
That would have been a much better decision.
I don't care.
Especially whenever we know we have those 3 guys that are going to get snaps because we can't.
Well, I don't think they knew Blaylock was going to be this good.
I agree.
But
I didn't think we did either.
We didn't get Ott until the summer portal, so I think a lot of those guys were already gone. And I think if we would have got some of those guys, we wouldn't have had money left over for Ott. I think we just had the money, and because we lost Caleb Hicks to OSU, Taylor Tatum's been hurt for a while, and so I think they're just trying to get us another guy.
But we have 3. We have 3 that consistently get the snaps. No, it's not good. We've been saying how we've all said it, but I'm just going to continue to say it.
Right.
It makes no sense that we can't ever just find one guy under the DeMarco Murray era that you can just be like, yeah, that guy's a stud and he's going to the league.
I think Blaylock may be that guy.
And I think maybe, I hope so, but that's why if I would think they would have had that idea as well, don't go and pay a running back. Go get depth at something else.
And I hear you saying that's fair. That's all fair. But my thing is also, I'm telling you, Ott at some point this season, we're going to go, okay, cool. He's going to have a big game. He's going to have a big run, something that he's going to contribute, because right now he's not contributing much at all. So I do think that he's going to have a good, I'm not saying the rest of the season, but he'll have some moments. He'll have some moments, and he'll have, somebody's going to get dinged up at some point as well. What are you going to say? I can see your.
Well, at the same time, yeah, at the same time too, save that money and go get some high school guys, because our class right now sucks. We're barely top 20 in the country, and that's pathetic.
For running backs, running game?
No, nationally.
Oh, you talking what?
High school recruiting.
Oh, I got you, but you know what? Whatever. Who cares? I don't even care anymore right now. Here's the thing.
It's proven record.
Here's the thing. I'm more focused on the transfer portal right now than I am with these high school kids who are going to play here a year, not be mad. They're going to be mad they're not playing. They're going to jump to another school and all that. That's the world we live in. So I'm more into the NIL or the transfer, basically, portal, in my opinion. I'm not saying the high school part doesn't matter, but I'm just saying I think you got somebody that's played, hopefully, some college ball instead of somebody you don't know.
Yeah, but now we're just going to run into the problem because once Mateer leaves, do we want Hawkins actually being our quarterback?
I don't.
No,
I don't. I want to get another quarterback in the portal. I want to get another
Bentley
quarterback in the portal.
could be good, but he's going to be a true freshman, so we don't want that either. So then you're just running into that stupid cycle of just a portal back to back to back to back to back, and it's not you're not going to be able to get that consistent.
I don't disagree. It's not a healthy way of doing it, but the thing is, like, unless it's a stud, like Caleb Williams came in and played pretty well. I think you guys would all say in his freshman year. Not that he's that great anymore right now, but he's having some struggles in the NFL, but I think he'll still come out of it. But regardless, I think it'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Let's move on. You good? Garrett, you calm down? You good? Let me ask you this. If you could add one player in Oklahoma history to this team, what player would that be? If you could add one player from all of history of Oklahoma, what player would you want to add to this team right now?
Off the top of my head, I'm going Peterson. Just adding a dominant runner. What it would open up for Mateer,
yeah.
I don't think I think if it's not Peterson, you got to go something on defense. But it's like Peterson he can carry an offense himself. So him and Mateer, I can't even imagine.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, that's probably the best pick out there, to be honest.
I'm going to give my 1A, 1B, and 1C. Just what I think would help. 1A, Adrian Peterson is what I was thinking. 1B, CeeDee Lamb. Could imagine having him on this team with Mateer.
Cross my mind.
But where I think we need the most help and would be the best to make this team over the top. And if I say it,
I already know what it is too. I think.
I already think I know what it is.
I'm going to say Trent Williams.
Okay, that's good. Good.
Because we need a stud on the offensive line. Creed
Nasty
Humphrey would be fine too, but I'd say Trent Williams.
Okay, Garrett, what were you going to say? Did you say Peterson or?
Well, I think Peterson, I agree, is probably the best one. But I think if you're going to go, like, I want to say Gerald McCoy, but we really don't need the nose tackle. I would say we just need that edge rusher that is going to be pretty dominant. And I guess I'm just kind of blanking. Like, in my lifetime, there really hasn't been anything crazy.
Nick Benito, Eric Stryker.
Yeah, but again, they weren't dominant. Stryker didn't even get drafted, and Benito was. I'm thinking somebody who was like translated to the NFL type stout caliber stud.
I think you guys should know who I'm going to pick, right?
Yeah. Leroy.
He would be
Boz.
the second.
I was thinking Boz. But
Bosworth would be the first. Bosworth in that middle linebacker position and being able to control that dude.
Yeah, but this day and age,
he'd
be suspended all the time.
I don't care. Clay knows this guy was absolutely, and everybody you're saying were dominant, but this guy was absolutely dominant. That guy, the attitude he would bring to that defense, he's the guy who made me start wanting to watch defense. Is the way he played, and just his overall fiery attitude, and I mean he brought it. But I would say Leroy Selmon would be number 2 because that guy.
Bosworth would tackle guys, get in their face, and just go, "Welcome to Oklahoma football."
But you saying Boz is like saying Baker Mayfield, like everything you just mentioned. The linebacker core is one of the best on the team. It would make no sense.
And that's why I'm not saying Baker because we don't need a quarterback.
You can say what you wanted. That's what I said. What I wanted. It doesn't make sense to me.
You're just a clown.
A little bit of an edge, a little bit of an attitude. Like that's what I'm looking for. Is I'm looking for somebody with a little edge, like people are like, I want to get that guy because they don't.
Roy Williams would be a decent one too.
He would be a hitter, man. That guy.
I was thinking
the best tackler I've ever seen. Me personally, that I've seen up close, the best tackler I ever saw in college football.
Absolutely.
He was incredible. I'll tell you, it would be hard for me between Peterson and Billy Sims. Billy Sims was incredible.
Yeah, but
you guys don't know.
I do know, but but it's Peterson.
I think Sims is my favorite.
He's one of the best of all time.
So Sims. I mean, I don't care what you say.
Yeah, but Peterson's one of the best of all time in both professional and college.
True. Sims was really good. Sims, unfortunately, when he
was. I'm not saying he wasn't, but man, Peterson.
He would have been.
I watched a highlight video earlier this week, so I just
Sims would have been. Peterson did not.
Yeah, he would have been in the top.
Yeah, well,
10,
it was a lot
20
different game back then.
NFL.
He should have.
I don't care. Doesn't matter, dude. No, I don't care. Doesn't matter. You have
Billy
no
Sims
idea
was a lot better barbecue.
No, yeah.
Yeah, well, Peterson's a Hall of Famer. Billy Sims.
Yeah, I was gonna say sorry. Peterson was too busy,
4
almost
years.
breaking the all-time record.
No, I love them both. I agree. I don't know. It's hard.
No,
I'm
you
just
don't.
saying it's hard for me. Yeah, I do. Tell me I don't. All right. Final question. If you could uninvent one thing, what would it be? One thing that you could uninvent. What would it be?
Like in history?
Yeah, whatever. Anything that's ever been invented.
Pop-up ads.
Excuse me?
Oh, uninvent.
Uninvent.
Yeah, I thought you said.
I said.
Yeah, I was like, that's a crazy question asked this week, but yeah, uninvent. Okay.
You went with pop-up ads of all the things.
Yeah, I don't want to see freaking ads every time I open something up on my phone or computer. Get rid of that. You know how much time I'd save and money by not paying 99 cents to get rid of them?
What else?
Man, I got to think about this one.
That's okay. We can pause a little bit, and some of this may be edited out, perhaps.
NIL.
Man.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Me too.
So the first thing that came to mind.
Man, I can't think of anything. Everything I think of was like, yeah, that's annoying, but yeah, I would rather just keep it.
I guess I'll just go like dually pickup trucks. Like those are got to be the dumbest thing ever, but it's like all I can think of that I just see, and I'm like, that's just the most obnoxious thing and the most just.
Unless you're a
look
farmer.
at me. No, it's not needed. They've made it plenty of years without it.
Clay?
So it's got to be something we're using right now that we just don't want.
It could be anything ever.
I don't have a dually truck.
Well, I mean, like the society is using.
Doesn't have to.
Well, there's some fun things.
Here's
out
what
there.
I'm going to say.
Go for
The
it,
thing
go.
I'd say we should get rid of the most, and this is going to be a very, very unpopular opinion, that we should invent is the cell phone.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Because it's very convenient. I love it. I would die without it and all that good stuff. But it is probably one of the top 5 inventions that's changed society more than anything is a cell phone.
Yeah, well,
And I don't think most of it's for the good.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I like, I shouldn't say the only thing. It is neat to be able to get a hold of somebody quickly, to be able to shoot a text message, to have it be my GPS, something like that. But the social media part of it is ridiculous. And people are looking at it and driving and texting and all that stuff. So I agree with that part of it. Here's some other ones that I'm looking at, and I'll tell you what mine is at the end. Glitter. What about glitter?
Annoying.
Cigarettes.
Bad for you.
Yeah. Child-proof packaging that adults can't open.
I'm a
That
man. I
does suck.
figured it out.
You know, like when you're opening up something that's like really hard in that really hard plastic and you can't peel it apart and you have to use scissors and then you slice your finger. Yeah, that packaging sucks.
Yeah.
What about those doorknobs? Yeah, thanks, Clay. What about those doorknobs? Like, put on the doorknob and you got to, like, childproof those
Squeeze it.
things. Those things.
Well, you may want to wait someday, son, because you're going to need them here soon.
She can
But
get
yeah,
wherever she
there's
wants.
there's all red light cameras, taxes, things like that. You know what I think, though? Here's what I think. This may be unpopular to some people, but I really don't care. Standardized testing. It often measures test taking skills versus true knowledge. That's kind of something I think we should maybe get
There
rid
you
of.
go.
That's what I think. Well, the Fox Den Sports Podcast would like to thank all of our listeners for making our day by joining us and joining the Skulk and subscribing and sending us messages and all that. Make sure that you continue to send those messages. Let us know what your thoughts are. Still a few months out, or what is it, 6 weeks out, 8 weeks out till we beat the snot out of Missouri, so the Missouri fans can text us as well. We love it. But hey, it's going to be a fun season. We're 3-0. Getting ready to be 4-0 after Auburn. And until next time, folks, I want to tell you, we want to appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Fox Den Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Fox Den Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fox Den Sports and on Facebook at Fox Den Sports Podcast. You can also email us at foxdensports@yahoo.com. This has been Fox Den Sports.